Wasalu Muhammad Jaco, better known by his stage name Lupe Fiasco, is an American rapper, record producer, and entrepreneur. He rose to fame in 2006 following the success of his debut album, Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. He also performs as the frontman of rock band Japanese Cartoon under his real name. As an entrepreneur, Fiasco is the chief executive officer of First and 15th Entertainment. Raised in Chicago, Fiasco developed an interest in hip-hop after initially disliking the genre for its use of vulgarity and misogyny. After adopting the name Lupe Fiasco and recording songs in his father's basement, 19-year-old Fiasco joined a group called LOO-pay. The group disbanded shortly after its inception, and Fiasco soon met rapper Jay-Z, who helped him sign a record deal with Atlantic Records. In September 2006, Fiasco released his debut album Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor on the label, which received 3 Grammy nominations. He released his second album, Lupe Fiasco's The Cool, in December 2007. The lead single Superstar peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. After a 2-year delay, Lasers was released in March 2011 to mixed reviews, with lead single The Show Goes On peaking at number 9 on the chart. Food and Liquor 2, the Great American Rap Album .1 was released in September 2012. In addition to music, Fiasco has pursued other business ventures, including fashion. He runs 2 clothing lines, Righteous Kung Fu and Trillion Truly. He has designed sneakers for Reebok. He has been involved with charitable activities, including the Summit on the Summit Expedition, and in 2010 he recorded a benefit single for victims of the 2010 Haiti earthquake. Fiasco is also noted for his anti-establishment views, which he has expressed in both interviews and his music. Life and career, 1982 to 98, early life. Fiasco was born Wasalu Muhammad Jaco on February 16, 1982 in Chicago, Illinois. Of West African descent, he was one of 9 children of Shirley, a gourmet chef, and Gregory, an engineer. His father, a member of the Black Panther Party, was a prolific African drummer, karate teacher, operating plant engineer, and owner of karate schools and army surplus stores. Fiasco was raised Muslim on the west side of Chicago on Madison Terrace housing project. At the age of 3, Fiasco began taking martial arts classes. His parents divorced when he was 5, and he went on to live with his mother, but his father still remained an important part of his life. He described his father's influence over the family by saying, "After school, my father would come and get us and take us out into the world. One day, we're listening to NWA, the next day we're listening to Ravi Shankar, the next day, he's teaching us how to shoot an AK-47, the next day, we're at karate class, the next day, we're in Chinatown." In 6th grade, he went to live with his father full-time in Harvey, Illinois. His father lived next door to a crack house and taught Fiasco to use guns to defend himself from drug dealers. Despite his unstable upbringing, Fiasco states that he was well educated as a child, asserting that his parents exposed him to a diverse array of subjects and that reading was highly encouraged in his household. As a teenager, Fiasco participated in academic decathlon competitions. His mother described him by saying, "He was a great-spirited child. Smart, a bit complex. He kind of was a loner. He didn't hang with a lot of people. He always had the glasses. Always had a book bag over his shoulder and some type of a writing tablet." Fiasco initially disliked hip-hop music for its use of vulgarity, and preferred to listen to jazz. He idolized clarinet player Benny Goodman. His struggle to learn to play an instrument led him to create poetry instead, which led to his interest in the lyrical aspects of music. He began rapping his poems in the 8th grade, and upon hearing Nas' 1996 album, It Was Written, began to pursue hip-hop. While attending Thornton Township High School, Fiasco met gang member Bishop G. The two became friends due to their shared interest in music. Fiasco's father allowed him and Bishop to make mixtapes in his basement, and the two gained notoriety at the school for their music. However, they were kicked off stage during their first performance because their eclectic musical style was not embraced by the hip-hop community. Early in his career, he went by stage names Little Lou and Luther Underdog. Growing up, Fiasco was given the nickname Lou, the last part of his first name, by his mother. Loop is an extension of this nickname, which he borrowed from a friend from high school. Fiasco is a reference to the Firm song Firm Fiasco. The rapper liked the way it looked on paper. He also said of his name, "You know how rappers always have names like MC Terrorist like they're terrorizing other rappers? I knew Fiasco meant a great disaster or something like that, but I didn't realize that the person named Fiasco would be the disaster, and that you should be calling other MCs Fiascos not yourself. It kind of humbled me in a sense. It taught me like, yo, stop rashing, or you're going to have some fiascos." 1999 2005, Career beginnings. When Fiasco was 17, he began creating music as a solo artist in his father's basement, even though his parents were not keen on having their son be a rapper. He scoured flea markets and second-hand stores, where he was able to find an old mixing board and a record player, stacks of vinyl records, and mic stands. At age 19, Fiasco joined a group called Da Pack, which was influenced by other California gangster rappers such as Spice One and Ice Cube. Da Pack signed to Epic Records and released one single before splitting up. Fiasco later described the experience, saying, "We had a song out about cocaine, guns, and women, and I would go to a record store and look at it and think, what are you doing? I felt like a hypocrite. I was acting like this rapper who would never be judged, and I had to destroy that guy." Because what Lupe Fiasco says on this microphone is going to come back to Wasalu Jaco. When the music cuts off, you have to go home and live with what you say. After turning away from gangster rap, he developed a greater appreciation of the lyricism of Jay-Z and Nas. His mother also gave him a record of the influential group the Watts Prophets, one of the first bands to use spoken words with music. Although he was without a group for the first time, Fiasco continued to record music. One of these first self-recorded tracks was Could Have Been, which described the career options he could have pursued had he not begun rapping. He viewed the song as a turning point in his career that marked a drastic change in the subject matter of his music. Could Have Been was released as a demo tape and discovered by MTV despite the fact that no video was created for the song. Fiasco later signed a solo deal with Arista Records, but was dropped when President and CEO L.A. Reid was fired. During his short tenure at Arista, he met Jay-Z, who was the president of Def Jam Recordings at the time. Jay-Z referred to him as a breath of fresh air, saying that he reminded him of a younger version of himself. Jay-Z later helped him get a record deal at Atlantic Records. While Fiasco was working on his debut solo album, he released his mixtape series Fahrenheit 1/15 over the internet, which gained notoriety by word of mouth. He remixed Kanye West's song, Diamonds from Sierra Leone, renaming the new version as Conflict Diamonds. With this remix, Fiasco wished to raise awareness of the conflict diamond business. This caught West's attention, and he asked Fiasco to perform on the song Touch the Sky for West's album Late Registration. The song, which sampled Curtis Mayfield's Move On Up, became a hit in the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 42. After this success, Fiasco's first single Kick, Push was released earlier than expected. The song was a love story about two people sharing a passion for skateboarding, a topic generally not discussed in hip-hop. Fiasco explained, "Skateboarding culture is just as deep as hip-hop. I'm not the greatest skateboarder, but I'm a damn good rapper, so I made a damn good skateboarding song." The single, and its accompanying music video, helped Fiasco get attention in the hip-hop community, and was later nominated for two 2007 Grammy Awards. During this time, he recorded guest performances on Pharrell's Kiss Me, and Didn't You Know singles, and also on K. Fogg's 2004 This Life. 2006 08, Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor and the Cool, Jay-Z assisted him in the production of what would become his debut album Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. The title of the album is a reference to food and liquor stores common in Chicago. He explains, "The store is where everything is at. Food to me represents growth and progression. You eat food and you get strength. You need it to live. Liquor is not a necessity. It is a want. It destroys you. It breaks you down. I can see why it's prohibited in Islam. I've always felt like liquor represents the bad, the food represents the good, and everyone is made up of a little of both." Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor was officially released on September 19, 2006. The album featured production from Jay-Z, Kanye West, Mike Shinoda, The Neptunes, Prolific, among others. The record spawned the singles Kick, Push, I Gotcha, and Daydreamin' featuring Jill Scott. The critically lauded album was later nominated for 3 Grammy Awards including Best Rap Album. Fiasco won Best Urban Alternative Performance for Daydreamin'. In the same year, he was voted by GQ magazine as the Breakout Man of the Year. He also received 4 Bet Hip Hop Award nominations, and it made it to number 8 on Billboard 200 and number 2 on Billboard Top R&B Hip Hop Albums chart. That same year he participated in the first cypher at the Bet Hip Hop Awards. In 2007, Fiasco announced his second album, Lupe Fiasco's The Cool, a concept album that expands on the story of the track of the same name on his first album. While recording this album, Fiasco's father died of type 2 diabetes and his business partner, Charles Chili Patton, was convicted of attempting to supply heroin to a drug ring and was eventually sentenced to 44 years in a correctional facility. These events greatly affected Fiasco and the subsequent themes discussed on the record. The disc was released in December 2007 in United States while the first single and video from the album, Superstar featuring Matthew Santos was released the first week of November 2007. Lupe Fiasco's The Cool, a concept album that expanded upon recurring themes in food and liquor, is about a hustler who dies and comes back to life, only to get robbed by 2 little kids with the same gun that killed him. For the record, Fiasco decided not to work with well-known producers as he considered it to be too expensive, noting the commercial failure of his Pharrell collaboration, I Gotcha. Lupe Fiasco's The Cool was very well received by critics and was referred to as one of the year's best hip-hop albums by the New York Times. Superstar, a semi-autobiographical account of his rise to fame, was released as the first single from the album, and peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. Baseball's Hanley Ramirez, Troy Tulowitzki, Ryan Zimmerman, Gerald Ledd and Ryan Braun have used Superstar as their at-bat song. The album's second single was Paris, Tokyo, a song based around Fiasco's experiences of touring the world between his first and second albums. Moreover, in 2007 it was revealed that Fiasco, Kanye West and Pharrell Williams had formed a group called Child Rebel Soldier. CRS initially released one single, entitled US Places, and featuring a Thom Yorke sample. In an interview with The Village Voice, Fiasco revealed that he was writing a novel about a window washer, aptly titled Reflections of a Window Washer. In 2008, Fiasco and his band 1500 or Nothing joined Kanye West's Glow in the Dark tour, which also featured Rihanna and Nerd. The tour stopped in several cities, including his hometown of Chicago. In 2008, MTV named Fiasco the 7th hottest MC in the game and announced that he was remixing The Cool with French electro house act Justice, 2009 Euro 2011, Lasers, at a performance in New Zealand in February 2010. Fiasco performed new material from the then-titled We Are Lasers for the first time. He claimed that the album was complete and waiting for a release date from his label, Atlantic Records. However, Atlantic feared that the record lacked commercial singles, and presented Fiasco with songs the label wanted him to record. Fiasco declined, as he was told he would not have any ownership of the songs. He explained, "I don't think the label cares about an album. People just want their #1 record." For 6 months, the cause of the album's delay remained unclear to the public. In response, Fiasco's fans created an online petition demanding that Atlantic Records release Lasers. The petition garnered considerable attention on hip-hop blog sites as well as over 16,000 signatures. Fiasco stated that the petition brought him to tears, and in response to the petition, Fiasco released a song titled BMF Building Minds Faster to thank his fans. While waiting for Lasers to be released, Fiasco completed another album, titled Food and Liquor 2, The Great American Rap Album. He was unsure if the Food and Liquor 2 would ever be released, though he released the song Go to Sleep from the record out of desperation to put out new music. He also pursued numerous side projects in the midst of the delay. In April 2010, Fiasco formed the hip-hop collective All City Chess Club along with Pharrell, Asher Roth, B.O.B., The Cool Kids, Charles Hamilton, Blue, Diggy Simmons, Whale, J. Cole, and Dosage. The group has so far made one song, a remix of Fiasco's I'm Beamin'. Additionally, on July 16, 2010, Fiasco released his rock side project Japanese Cartoon's debut EP In the Jaws of the Lords of Death. Japanese Cartoon was influenced by a variety of musical genres, with Fiasco saying, unregistered trademark They always been a fan of all music. Hip-hop is just something I actually know how to do but I always had aspirations to participate in other forms of music. Once I got to create some hip-hop, it was like, okay, what am I going to do now? So my artistic side was like, yo, let's do some rock music. More than 2.5 years after the album's completion, Lasers was released on March 8, 2011. The first single from the record was The Show Goes On, which samples Float On by Modest Mouse. The Show Goes On debuted at number 57 on the Billboard Hot 100. The lead single peaked at number 9 since then. The producers involved on the album include Alex Darkid, King David the Future, and Jerry Wonder Duplessis, while featured artists include Skylar Grey, Trey Songz, and John Legend. Upon the album's release, Lasers debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 chart, with first-week sales of 204,000 copies. Despite the album's commercial success, Lasers received mixed reviews from most music critics. Writing for AllMusic, editor Andy Kellman gave the record 3 out of 5 stars and criticized its lumbering, overwrought choruses, writing that if there is one MC whose rhymes should not be dulled for the sake of chasing pop trends, it's Lupe Fiasco. Lasers, however, was nominated Best Rap Album, with The Show Goes On nominated for Best Rap Performance, and Best Rap Song at the 2012 Grammy Awards. Lupe Fiasco later involved himself with the Occupy Wall Street movement where he donated tents and released a poem in support of the protesters. He also released his Friend of the People, I Fight Evil mixtape on Thanksgiving Day, 2012 to 2013, Food and Liquor 2, The Great American Rap Album. Fiasco has since released Food and Liquor 2, as well as put work into a joint album with fellow Child Rebel Soldier and All City Chess Club member Pharrell. Prior to the album's release, he revealed that there would be no more mixtapes after Friend of the People, I Fight Evil prior to Food and Liquor 2, The Great American Rap Album, which was planned to be a double disc with Part 1 set to release in fall 2012. Its lead single, the Simon Says and B-side produced track Around My Way, was released on May 21, which stirred controversy from an infuriated Pete Rock for using a sample from They Reminisce Over You. Rock said that he felt so violated by the use of the sample, although the original track itself used samples from Tom Scott and James Brown. Fiasco recently collaborated with Australian singer-songwriter Guy Sebastian in the single Battle Scars. The single was recorded in Sebastian's Sydney studio when Fiasco was in Australia for Superfest, and is featured on Sebastian's album Armageddon. It debuted at number 1 in Australia in its first week, becoming Fiasco's first number 1 single. On August 21 it was announced Battle Scars would be included on Fiasco's fourth album, Food and Liquor 2, The Great American Rap Album .1, and was released as the fourth single in the United States on August 28, 2012. It reached number 71 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart, number 23 on the Billboard Digital Song Chart and number 1 on the R&B Hip Hop Digital Song Chart. The song spent 20 non-consecutive weeks in the Billboard Hot 100, and reached platinum certification. Battle Scars spent 6 weeks at number 1 in Australia, and has been certified 9 platinum by ARIA. It also reached number 2 and double platinum in New Zealand and number 2 in Norway. Food and Liquor 2, the Great American Rap Album. 1 was released on September 25, 2012. The songs Go to Sleep and Bitch Bad were also released as singles. The album received generally positive reviews from contemporary music critics. At Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating out of 100 to reviews from mainstream critics, the album received an average score of 70, which indicates generally favorable reviews, based on 18 reviews. It was also nominated for Best Rap Album at the 55th Grammy Awards. Originally, the album was set to be released as a double-disc album, but Atlantic Records did not allow this arrangement, so the album was divided into 2. It was confirmed that a Part 2 will be released in spring 2013. Lupe has said the album showcases more of his dexterity and lyrical substance. S1 has confirmed to be producing on the album. On January 17, 2013 he cancelled the plan for the release of the second part of the original double disc. He then said that he would release another studio album in 2013. 2013 present, Tetsuo and Youth. On February 10, 2013, on the red carpet for the Grammy Awards he announced his 5th studio album would be titled Tetsuo and Youth. Since then, he has released songs that are not slated to be on Tetsuo Youth. These songs are Light Blue, and Janila Forever. Upon hearing her name in Lupe's song Formed Follows Function, Imogen Heap reached out to Lupe on Twitter to give a thank you, which led to Fiasco asking her to appear on his next album, making her a possible guest artist on Tetsuo and Youth. On August 4, 2013 Lupe Fiasco revealed a new song would be released on September 11, titled Piece of Paper Cup of Jesus. On August 24, 2013, Fiasco revealed the first song from Tetsuo and Youth, Crack, featuring Chris Brown. Then on October 3, 2013, Fiasco announced the Tetsuo and Youth preview tour to take place between November 2 and December 15, 2013. The tour featuring label mate Stally as a supporting act, and The Boy Illinois as an opening act. He also revealed the album Tetsuo and Youth would be released in early 2014. On October 14, 2013, Fiasco released the first song from the album, Old School Love featuring singer Ed Sheeran. Then on October 21, 2013, Fiasco revealed that Big K.R.I.T. and Rick Ross would also be featured on the album. On May 19, 2014, Fiasco released the first single from the album, Mission, is a track to empower those facing cancer, revere cancer survivors, and remember those who have passed due to cancer-related illnesses, he explains. He has teamed up with Stand Up to Cancer as a celebrity ambassador. Together, they are planning collaborations tied to the track that will be unveiled the same year. On June 24, 2014, Fiasco released the second single from the album titled Next to It, which features Ty Dolla $ign on the hook. Lyrical style, Fiasco, along with rappers Common, Mos Def, and Talib Kweli, has been credited as a pioneer of the conscious hip-hop movement, which focuses on social issues. Subjects touched upon on Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor include absent parents, terrorism, Islam and religion, war, and prostitution. Fiasco attributes his interest in social issues to his highly cultured upbringing, as he describes his mother as very intellectual, and his father as a Renaissance man. He rejects the misogyny common in hip-hop, which he discusses in the song Hurt Me Soul. Despite this, Fiasco is strongly opposed to censorship in music. If we're going to censor things that are offensive, then we are going to have to blind and deafen everyone. Come on, man. Let's focus on education and literacy and poverty. Fiasco employs various lyrical techniques in his songwriting. The rapper views hip-hop as a medium conducive to storytelling, a primary element of his lyrics due to his background in theater. He wrote plays as a child, which had a strong effect on his songwriting approaches. Fiasco utilizes both metaphors and literal statements in his work, which he describes as getting from point A to point B in as few words as possible. His use of metaphors is exemplified by the song ʻluːpeɪ from Lupe Fiasco's The Cool, which is told from the perspective of a cheeseburger and addresses the poor nutrition in black communities in the United States, while using a continuous metaphor of drug dealing and hustling. Philanthropy and business ventures. In 2001, Fiasco co-founded First and 15th Entertainment with Charles Chili Patton. First and 15th is an independent record label separate from Atlantic Records named after the traditional twice-monthly paycheck dates. Although his albums are released by Atlantic since he is under contract with them, most of his works are usually produced by First and 15th and its in-house producers. Although Fiasco was initially to serve as vice president, he became CEO after Patton was convicted on drug charges. Fiasco and singer Matthew Santos were two of the most recognizable signed artists. In November 2009, Fiasco announced he would discontinue the First and 15th label. "It was just such a this isn't right for you right now. This isn't gonna work for you right now. You need to be focused on you. Do you really want that? Do you really have the capacity to do it?" In March 2013, Fiasco took to Twitter to announce that he had become the creative director at Higi, a scoring system based in the Chicago area that helps you to discover more about yourself so you can look, live and feel better. In 2005, he founded Righteous Kung Fu, a company that designs fashions, sneakers, toys, video games, comic books, and graphics for album covers and skateboard decks. Fiasco also runs a fashion line out of Righteous Kung Fu called Trillion Truly. He has sponsored a skateboard team and has endorsements from DGK Skateboards. In January 2006, Fiasco signed with major footwear and apparel corporation Reebok, becoming part of the OG marketing campaign where rap artists such as Lil Wayne and Mike Jones designed their own personal colorway of the Reebok OG model. In 2009, Fiasco performed in The People Speak, a documentary feature film that employs musical performances of the letters, diaries, and speeches of everyday Americans, based on historian Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. On January 7, 2010, Fiasco joined musician Kenna, actress Jessica Biel, and other celebrities and activists for an expedition to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro called Summit on the Summit to raise awareness of the billions of people worldwide who lack access to sanitary drinking water. On January 20, 2010, Fiasco released a track called Resurrection with Kenna in response to the 2010 Haiti earthquake. The song, part of a compilation released through the charity Music for Relief, aimed to encourage donations for immediate relief and long-term recovery following the disaster. Personal life. Religion. Lupe Fiasco has stated on MTV's Rap Fix as well as in various other media that he is a Muslim, and that Islam plays a part in my life and everything I do, to a certain extent. I'd own a unregistered trademark T like putting my religion out there, I'd own a unregistered trademark T like wearing it like that. Because I'd own a unregistered trademark T want people to look at me as the poster child for Islam. A unregistered trademark M not. I'd own a unregistered trademark T want them to look at my flaws and be like, oh, that's the flaws of Islam. A unregistered trademark. His mixtape series Fahrenheit 1/15 featured a remix of Kanye West's Jesus Walks entitled Muhammad Walks, which went on to become very popular in the Muslim community. He can be heard using Islamic recitals in Hurt Me Soul, Little Weapon, High Definition as well as the intro and outro tracks to Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. Political views. Fiasco is noted for his anti-establishment views. In an interview with Stephen Colbert on the satirical news show The Colbert Report, Fiasco stated his credo on political philosophy: you should criticize power even if you agree with it. In another interview in June 2011 on the CBS program What's Trending, Fiasco discussed the political content of his music, stating, "My fight against terrorism, to me, the biggest terrorist is Obama and the United States of America. I'm trying to fight the terrorism that's actually causing the other forms of terrorism. You know, the root cause of terrorism is the stuff the US government allows to happen. The foreign policies that we have in place in different countries that inspire people to become terrorists." He additionally criticized Obama for his stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In keeping with his anti-establishment views, Fiasco does not vote in U.S. elections. On January 20, 2013, he was removed from the stage by the security for refusing to move on to the next song after performing a 30-minute version of Words I Never Said, which contains anti-Obama lyrics, in Washington, D.C., during Obama's second presidential inauguration. Discography: Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor, Lupe Fiasco's The Cool, Lasers, Food and Liquor 2, The Great American Rap Album. 1, Tetsuo and Youth, Awards. In 2006, Lupe was named one of GQ's Men of the Year along with being awarded 1 Grammy in 2008 along with 12 nominations. He has been nominated for numerous other awards and has also been awarded the Character Approved Award for a Musician by USA in 2009. References: Bibliography, Biography Today, Lupe Fiasco. Omnigraphics. Detroit, Michigan. ISBN 978-0-7808-1052-5. External links: Official website, Lupe Fiasco at the Internet Movie Database, Lupe Fiasco's channel on YouTube, The People Speak at the Internet Movie Database.